Hello, welcome to the Daily Loop. I meant to go transfer bids. Okay, so this is a player that... it's a tough one. So his contract expires at the end of this month. It's a pretty decent training option still. He's only 24. We have added 2 extra positions to him, I believe. MC and striker. We're just on track to use him even less than last season. Next season, I believe he'll be even less useful. Having said that, he's not worth that much money anyway. And if we sell him, well, there's multiple issues going on with him, to be honest. So one, he does have some versatility to be on the bench, but then the second issue is we haven't been putting him on the bench because we've been trying to put Gardelis on the bench, and that's basically instead of him. He's basically blocking Gardelis getting playing time. That's one issue. Or he isn't, in which case you might as well sell him because he's not even on the bench, even when you got 3 injuries. I kind of feel like he is useful for the attacking midfield role like this one. When we transition to the more direct passing and we set him to attack midfield and this one to central midfield. But he's never on the bench to do that sub when we need it anyway, because it's Gardelis instead of him. We can't play him in the normal tactic because he can't pass good enough. Otherwise we could, but he can't, so it doesn't. It's a redundant point, really. I don't know. I mean, having said that, obviously we could have more than 3 injuries. That's one point. There was a little stretch last season because of injuries. He did start some. Yeah, he started 5 matches in a row. So he's kind of very, like, as a... but having said that, I suppose we wouldn't really have an issue if we had to start Gardelis because he's so fast. Gardelis changes things for him. We basically want him to take that role of 3rd choice striker. And once he's relegated to 4th choice striker, yeah, it's a weird one. It's like, on the one hand, we don't really need him. On the other hand, we need somebody. Like, we don't have enough general squad depth. Like, if we had another 1 or 2 injuries, depending on positions, he could easily be needed. So it's kind of a weird one. Also, it's the case that we have added 2 positions to this player, which is a huge amount of resource to invest. Having said that, contract extensions are a big resource. But I think on the whole, it's worth just keeping him. The exception might be if we buy a player today that's playing striker or MC. Then it maybe changes things a bit. So let's look at that, shall we? Scouted players. I'm just looking at the tackling for all these players. I'm really interested. Now these players, I'm looking at tackling, but also passing. And then like this guy, it's like, well, it's good enough for 19, but then only 9 determination, only 5 speed. Some real deal breakers there. Now I'm looking primarily at passing, tackling, vision, finishing, just a range of stuff. Basically starting with the passing though and then expanding out. So I normally do passing and then tackling. Now that can be around 30 potentially, as long as the finishing is really good, and some other stuff is really good but it isn't. And again, this guy is okay, but he's only got 33 speed and he's 30. It's kind of okay, but we've got so many MCs in our youth squad, he's not going to be the difference maker. He's not good enough for that. To these more attacking players, I typically start with speed and finishing. Okay, so we can go to the player auctions. Fortunately, these ones are a bit more, you got to check the attributes per position, so it takes a bit longer. This guy's kind of okay. I don't know. It's just hard. Tackling is. Well, we would use him probably if we had him in, even with only the 32 aerial ability, which isn't great. But oh, wrong guy. Yeah, this guy. Sorry. Look, I was like, what? 32? It's like, no, we would use this guy if we had him, even with the 68 tackling, which isn't. We would use this guy. I think if we had him, we would use him in the cover role, just because he's got good first touch. And he's fast and good in the air. I mean, good control, good enough marking, good enough composure. The tackling ideally would be higher, but we would make do with 68. So this guy we would make do with this guy, but the issue is we're not going to pay 12 million or whatever it is. Ends up being with signing fee like 13 point something million for a guy that we're making do with. I think when we're paying this kind of money, we want it to be like a big deal player for us, basically. Alright. And go. Oh, we didn't do the Academy Trials select, so let's do that. I think we're not going to accept that transfer bid, by the way, just because we just need the squad depth, and I'm not sure, like, I feel like it could disrupt our promotion chances for this, what is effectively the sake of like £500,000 or £600,000. It's just not worth it. he got 53 finishing, only 15 control, 56 tackling, 58 vision, 36 aerial ability, vision up next. Well, I don't know who the weakest link out of these guys is that we would want to get rid of at this point. I don't know if there's any. Maybe this guy, because he's only got 11 determination and 32 speed. So he's like not ever going to be too special no matter what other attributes are revealed here. He's only got 3 determination, but he's got some good other stuff like passing and tackling. But yeah, again, because of the 3 determination, maybe him. The other MC though is this guy probably first. Then this guy. This guy's got 57 determination, so we're happy with this guy for now. This guy's speed next. He's got good tackling and vision. I think this guy. So I think it's mostly this guy. And then if we find another one, it would be this guy. This guy has got some good stuff. This MC. So we got 1 or 2 that we'd move out, but ultimately we are okay with keeping. So it's just a case of like only if we find a player that we want more. This guy does have 60 passing, but only 20 vision, only 4 strength. Maybe this guy, just because his determination might be high, his speed might be higher. So maybe him instead of him. Probably. But it's not great for reasons, basically. Namely that the tackling isn't very good, the vision isn't very good, the strength is really low, the dribbling is really low, and then other stuff, you know, it's like, could be whatever it is. So you got 9 speeds, I think we'll pass. I'll come back to him. This guy's interesting. We don't use AML, but he's fast and high determination, high composure, some real high stuff. The control isn't particularly control on the flare. The passing is the one that I think we'll bring him in, just because if the passing is high, there's a good chance we'll be able to add a position to this guy that makes sense for us. And then if we're left between choosing between this DC or that other MC, which was, I think this guy. Yeah, the problem with this guy is it's just a long road until you find the aerial ability, the speed out. Oh. I mean, he could also potentially be this box-to-box midfielder role. And we'll just leave him in. And then we got the training options. Don't really want to lose the speed. We don't really want to lose the aerial ability. We're happy to gain the strength, happy to gain the composure, not too bothered about the crossing. So once you eliminate out the crossing, because you say you're not too bothered about it, you're basically saying, would you rather lose an aerial ability or speed and gain a crossing? I think we'd rather just keep the speed, because his aerial ability isn't that high anyway. If his aerial ability was like 83, then maybe we would choose the other one. And this would be adding his third position, and one that has a bit of utility to it. Obviously we can now change positions, so it's not that big a deal. So I think we just take the, I don't think we'd care about that on the most part, so we'll just pick the best training, and we don't care about now, it's not a big deal if you get 3 because you can change them. So we'll just choose the one that makes the most sense. So you can get an extra point in passing and tackling on this side, which are both key. On this side we're getting 1 extra positioning, 1 extra flair, 3 extra determination, 1 extra endurance. And he is starting every match, so I'd say the determination isn't insignificant at all here. The extra endurance matters. The extra flair matters because it's already quite high. And obviously having the extra passing and tackling matters, but I think we're ultimately going to go with this one. Just because he is starting every match, so that determination is going to matter. This is our starting keeper. So he can lose 2 speed. He's already pretty fast and he's a keeper, so we don't want to lose the 2 shot stopping though, basically. So we'll pick the other one. Going to lose 1 natural fitness, not too big a deal. Gain 3 strength and 2 composure, fine. We want the passing and the vision mostly. Don't care too much about the crossing. Don't really want to lose the aerial ability. Composure, yeah, okay. I guess we're going to end up going with this one though. Even though we would like that extra point in vision, that extra point of vision is basically coming at the expense of 1 point in crossing, 1 point in composure, and 1 point in aerial ability. I don't think it's worth all 3 of those. Alright, I think we only want to lose the 1 speed instead of the 4 speed. The speed is ultimately what makes him special. He's not that great without it. Don't care about the determination, don't care about the positioning, so it's just really obviously this one. This guy, positioning is going to matter. I think it's this one. You get an extra long shots, extra dribbling, 3 extra positioning, and an extra work rate instead of 1 extra flair, so it's definitely that one. This guy, I think he wants the 4 extra points in passing, basically. I think it's this one just because this extra 6 extra speed, 6 extra agility. Don't too bothered about the work rate when it's so low anyway, and the extra dribbling, all of that's easily worth the extra couple points in the long shots. And then this guy, probably want the extra finishing. And the dribbling matters a bit here as well, but I think on the balance it's just going to be this one because it's 2 extra points in finishing and a point in tackling, or 1 point in dribbling. It's going to be this one. Plus we're only really looking to sell this guy, I think, anyway. So, right, so yeah, so we're done with that. I'm going to get some matches played. Cheers.